Army Man TV, and this is an unscripted rant video. I mean, I didn't really script this, and I know I should, but this was just something I decided to make, on the fly, spur of the moment, because I've been seeing this has been on my head for the last month or so. I mean, how long has it? How long has this been on? Well, whatever. I've been seeing a lot of other videos about this, and the general theme with most of them is that they don't like it, and yeah, I have to agree with that. Sorry. So Butch Hartman is creating a subscription service called Alaxis Entertainment, and in case you don't know who he is, he created shows like The Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, and other stuff. Most of it is for Nickelodeon, and he wants to make a streaming service, I guess. So we're gonna watch this video he has for the Kickstarter, and I'm gonna talk about why it doesn't seem like a good idea.
Hey everybody, the show's on.
Alright. I've seen this video like many times before, and the biggest well, first of all, here that's not that's not really how things work, Butch, in case you don't know. You see, when you watch TV, when you go on TV, you can like see the ratings of the movies and shows that are airing. So it doesn't seem like so it just kind of seems like the parents' fault that they put on a R-rated movie for their children, because I mean you're just kind of making the parents look stupid in this situation, because in order for this situation to have happened, they must have not known what rated R means. So yeah, that doesn't really make much sense. It just kind of looks like it's the fault of the parents. And of course it's just cuz it totally works like that.
Look familiar?
Yeah, it looks like idiotic parenting. That's what, Butch.
Who are you? I'm Butch Hartman. I've been in the entertainment industry for over 30 years.
How'd you get in here?
Doggy door.
Oh my god, call 911. Hello? 911, what's your emergency? Yeah, some guy who's about to, some guy just broke into my house to, pitch me a terrible Kickstarter. Okay, that's kind of funny.
I love entertainment, and I'm so excited to give you the opportunity to help me impact culture. I'm a family.
Oh boy. And what he just said there, thing is, he wants to, like, create a whole entertainment empire, and thing is, I don't know if he knows how Kickstarter works, but you cannot do that with a Kickstarter of just 250,000. That's not really how things. You cannot expect to start a whole big streaming network that will impact culture and blah 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 with just a Kickstarter. That's not how things really work.
My wife and 2 daughters mean the world to me. That's why I love creating high-quality family entertainment. I work with some of the biggest studios in the business, and after creating and producing 4 animated series, I've just completed a successful 20-year run at Nickelodeon.
Meet inside the Nicktoon studio.
Hey there, I'm Butch Hartman, the creator of...
Yeah, like anybody who watched Tough Puppy and Bunsen is a Beast.
You know, when I grew up, family entertainment was more the norm. I mean, you really had to look hard to find something that was inappropriate. It seems like today's shows are meant more to shock people than uplift and inspire them.
Well, that doesn't really make much sense because, yeah, there are a lot of adult shows that are very shocking, but, I mean, it's not like kid-friendly entertainment is some extinct species. There's still tons of kid-friendly, well, family-friendly media to watch. In fact, I'd argue there's more nowadays, because back then, like, the only company doing, like, family-friendly animated films was Disney, and now, pretty much every big film studio is doing family-friendly animated movies, so yeah, I'd argue that that statement there is 100% wrong and that it's actually the exact opposite.
I just recently met an 8-year-old who told me that they'd seen The Exorcist and loved it. Loved it? I mean, think about that. The only way the 8-year-old could have loved it is if they'd already seen so much other dark stuff that they'd become immune to that sort of...
That's also wrong. I mean, that, to be fair, that could be a possibility, but that's not the only way. I mean, I'm not the parent of that kid, so I guess it's not in my decision. I'm not a parent as well, in case you couldn't tell. I'm 13 years old, so, but, yeah, I've been 13 for a month now, but, so, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here because I'm not a parent, but in my opinion, that's not really a good, move on the parents' part, but that's not the only way the kid could have enjoyed The Exorcist. They could have, well, I mean, that could just be the kid's taste. Maybe he likes horrifying, dark stuff. Maybe that's just kid's taste. Maybe people have different tastes and opinions. Maybe it's that. But oh no, his mind was contaminated by all those super meaty, poo-poo, scary, dark stuff. Oh no. Again, that statement there. I mean, that could be a possibility, but that's not the only way.
The smartphone has become a gateway through which all kinds of questionable influences can enter. Parents, aren't you tired of being constantly terrified that your child is going to see something that they shouldn't?
That statement right there is just so dumb. Like, parents, aren't you constantly terrified that your child is gonna see something that they shouldn't? Well, actually, Butch, there's a solution to that, and it doesn't involve pledging to your stupid Oaxis thing. It's actually something called get this, monitoring your children. What a mind-blowing concept, I know, but it's this thing where you watch your children and don't just leave your 5-year-old to roam free on YouTube or whatever. What an amazing concept. Now, I mean, but in all seriousness, I mean, the parents can't be dangling over the kids 24/7. I think that it's the other part of the argument that you should watch your kids. But the thing is that if you find out your kid is watching something that they shouldn't, then you shouldn't trust them anymore to be on the internet alone. And whenever you do let them go onto YouTube or Netflix or whatever, you should monitor them if you learn that you can't trust them. But the thing is, if your kid watches something that they is watching something that they shouldn't, it's either the kid's fault or the parents' fault. It's almost never the media's fault. The only time it's the media's fault is if the only time it's ever the media's fault is if they make it they they try to mislead kids to watching their content, like with the Elsa and Spider-Man crap thingies. But other than that, it's either the kid's fault or the parents' fault. So, but in Butch's world and pretty much every stupid parent's world, that's not an option. And that statement there is just so terrible.
I mean, family time barely exists anymore. It's ironic that in an age where everyone can be instantly connected, the family unit is more disconnected than ever.
Well, I mean, they're the parents. You can just, if you're a parent and you want to, be connected with your family, you can just round them together for a movie night. But oh no, they can't do that because otherwise they'll run into some hard R-rated movie, even though you can see the ratings of the movies when you go on TV. But oh no, like, but you do realize that, you see, when I hear people complaining about it, it's usually from the parents, and it's really dumb because the parents are the ones who have the power in the family, and they can basically, if they really want to have a family night or whatever together with their kids, they can just, get them all together for a movie night. I mean, they're the parents. So, and they have the most control over what happens in the family. So, I don't see why that's such a huge problem.
But anything can be changed. What we need now more than ever is an entertainment experience that has your family's interests as the sole focus. And I'm uniquely positioned to bring that experience to life. With a platform this unique, I had to give it a special name. A name that really meant something.
Okay, and here we run into the biggest problem with this Kickstarter, and it's that thing is, throughout this entire pitch presentation, even down in the about section, even in the description of the Kickstarter, it seems it's very hard to sell it to anyone, because I mean, he doesn't add any proof of there's no show attached to this. It just kind of, there's no show attached to this. There's nothing to get anybody interested in this. He's just saying, oh, I want to create this network, and that's fine, but you could but it would be better if you would attach a project to this, because with just saying that you want to create a streaming service and asking money for it, that's not gonna, I mean, to be fair, it's pretty close to its goal, and it's probably gonna make its goal in the next few days. But if it does, I mean, if you want to pledge to this, then go ahead. But I really do not. In my opinion, I don't think that's a good idea, because the thing is that there's no show attached to this. So how is it supposed to get anybody interested if you don't have even a single project attached to this Kickstarter? And have zero plan whatsoever, and have nobody attached to this, it's a really tough sell. It's really hard to sell your Kickstarter to people when all it is you is talking about your crazy subscription service you want to start, and that it comes off more like a crazy pipe dream than an actual pitch for a product on Kickstarter.
Oasis, a place of refreshing and safety in a dry and desolate environment. Axis, an uncompromising point of strength around which everything else revolves. Oasis. Axis. Welcome to Oasis. A 24/7 entertainment platform with high-quality, family-friendly entertainment as its central mission. We're going to use the power of the smart.
You can't do that with only $200,000. It's gonna take a lot more than just that to get an entire streaming service off the ground, and so I'm not really sure about that.
Phone and other personal devices to our advantage. We're going to start off as a subscription-based streaming service, and we're going to have everything you've come to expect from networks you're familiar with, but without the heavy focus on negative subject matter.
What does that even mean? That's the other thing. He doesn't really define his definition of family friend. I mean, he has produced family friendly shows over the years. I mean, he's never done pretty much all of his projects that I've heard of are family friendly. So I guess that's something that kind of shows his definition of family friendly, but not really. I really wish he would define family friendly, because otherwise nobody's gonna know what to expect, and that's not really a good thing in this situation.
We'll have all original high-quality dramas, sitcoms, feature-length movies, animation, and kids shows, plus all the other things you love: sports, fitness, reality, news, video games, and more. We'll even have...
And that's the thing. You cannot expect to do that with only $200,000 to create all of that. How many things does he list in that?
Focus on negative subject matter. We'll have all original high-quality dramas, sitcoms, feature-length movies,
3,
animation,
4.
and kids shows, plus all the other things you love: sports, fitness, reality, news, video games, and more.
See, he lists off 10 things, and to make all of those shows you cannot do with just $250,000. You can just not do, even to acquire shows. I mean, acquiring shows it's still expensive. It's not as expensive as creating all of these shows on your own, but it's still really expensive. I mean, if he really wants to get this going, I'd recommend that he just start off acquiring all these shows, because, I mean, that's what Netflix did when they made their streaming service. For almost a decade, they acquired shows, and then they started making their own, and I think that's what he should do for the first few years of his service, so that way by then he has obtained enough money through the service to create his own shows for the network. But even for that, I don't know if he can do it with $250,000.
We'll even have a user-based upload feature that will allow you to upload your own family-friendly content whenever you want. Daughters...
Oh boy. A user upload feature, I'm not really sure about it. I mean, if you just want to create a family-friendly streaming service, that's fine. But the user upload feature, it's not really going to work out, because there's going to be a lot of people are going to be upset when stuff doesn't pass through the family-friendly filter. I mean, I've seen a lot of creators complaining that YouTube censors their content because it's not family friendly. And oh boy, you're going to get a buttload of complaints about that if you try to do this user upload feature with a family friendly filter. That's not gonna work. I mean, at least with, I'll give him credit for this. At least he's being upfront and honest about him about it wanting about him wanting family friendly content only, unlike YouTube, who they seem to want more kid family friendly content, but they've never stated that at all. And thus that I think that's what makes a lot of people angry, because you don't see people crying, getting upset over censorship on YouTube kids. So, maybe, who knows, maybe the user upload feature could work, but I'm really not sure. Wait, what? Okay, I guess it lives up. I'm really unsure about it.
Birthday party? Let's see it. Son's graduation? Upload it. Anniversary? Trip to the zoo? Share it. But understand.
The problem is with all the examples he listed. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of that type of content on YouTube, and it seems to get a lot of views. But I really don't think the majority of people care. I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't think the majority of people care about, like,
you to upload your own family-friendly content whenever you want. Daughter's birthday party?
yeah, they don't
Let's see
really
it.
care about, like, a daughter's birthday party or a son's graduation or whatever, because they're not invested in it at all. So if those are the only things you're allowing on the user upload mode thing, then oh boy, I do not think it's gonna work.
Son's graduation? Upload it. Anniversary? Trip to the zoo? Share it. But understand, this is family friendly. It has to meet our high quality standards and pass through our special O-Axis filter. Let's make it fun, but keep it clean. Our goal is to impact culture.
Okay, I know somebody else said this in their video, but why is he passing through what looks like a police crime scene tape? That seems really weird. I mean, it says caution. Just why is that there?
We know this is not an easy task. We want you to join us in our mission because we need to raise $250,000 for our first...
No, you actually need to raise more than that, which you cannot do with Kickstarter. And I don't think he knows that this is going to be a hard task, because he thinks that he can start a service just by raising $250,000 on Kickstarter, just by telling people about his amazing pipe dream of having his own streaming service. And by the way, he already does. I mean, Butch, this is a really big question I have. What happened to the Nuke Network? You know, you already have a streaming service. Why do you all of a sudden need O-Axis? I'm really confused about that.
Phase of startup costs. These include developing our video platform, hiring creative staff and producers to produce original content, and to acquire already finished projects that fit our entertainment model. With the O-Axis platform, we can change family-friendly entertainment for the better.
Why do you need to do that? I mean, I'm pretty sure most people think family-friendly entertainment is good the way it is. I mean, the thing is, throughout this whole presentation, he's acting like family-friendly content is non-existent at all, and there's none of it, when there's literally tons of it already. I mean, you want me to list them all off? I mean, there's Cartoon Network, which is Adventure Time, Steven Universe. On Nickelodeon, they have they have SpongeBob, which apparently people like. Which by the way, I really don't. They have a Loud House. They have tons of sitcoms on there, and on Disney Channel. On Disney Channel, they have Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Gravity Falls. They're still airing reruns of Phineas and Ferb. They have Milo Murphy's Law. Those are like 4 shows I listed there. And not even in TV. In movies, they have there's Disney, which has a ton of animated films. I think we already know what those are. There's DreamWorks. There's Sony Animation is terrible. There's Illumination, which is never mind. There's Pixar. Sorry, I really shouldn't have scripted this. There's Blue Sky. Some people like. There's Nickelodeon has their film division there. They have a theatrical film division which has some family-friendly films. There's Warner Brothers with the Lego movies. And there's a lot of, and even, why stop at movies and TV? There's even games that I'm sure families could play in multiplayer. There's some of the new Super Mario Bros. Games can have 4 players, I think. There's. My point is that there's tons of family-friendly content out there, and he's acting like it's completely non-existent when that couldn't be farther from the truth. So I don't see why people already need this. And there's already in streaming, there's already Netflix, Hulu, Amazon's streaming service, and they all have family-friendly content on there. And there are some family-friendly YouTube channels as well, like Odd Ones Out, Jaden Animations. For the most part, they're appropriate. So, there's already all of those options I just listed. Why do we need O-Access? And he doesn't provide a reason why we need O-Access other than there's no family-friendly content, which is completely untrue. There is tons of family-friendly content.
Please share this with your friends and support us yourself. Now's our chance to impact culture. You need to be a part of this. O-Access. Because we're family.
That's the biggest problem with this is that the 2 biggest problems is one, he's very close to his goal, but even if he does reach his goal, he cannot make an entire streaming service with just that amount of money. He has the Nuke Network, but he probably invested way more money into it than just $250,000. Cause you cannot start a whole streaming service, a whole entertainment empire with just $250,000. You cannot do that. And the second part about it is that it doesn't seem like it's a good decision to donate to this because he has literally no projects attached to this. It's just him talking about, sounds more like a crazy pipe dream than an actual project. Because if it was an actual project, then he'd have at least one show attached to it to convince people to come onto their network. But no, he doesn't. He doesn't have even a single thing. So I mean, apparently it's working because it's almost reached 100,000 I mean 38%. So apparently I'm wrong, and apparently it's working fine and people are convinced, but if I if I were these people, I wouldn't be donating to it because, I mean, how do I know that this is actually going to happen? And I'm not going to say that it's a scam because Butch seems like a pretty nice person, but the thing is that you cannot, like, how is it supposed to show? It's not showing that it's going to, that there's anything, that it's going to become anything at all. So I don't know how he can do this with zero shows attached to this, with just $250,000. And by the way, he never addressed or brought up the Noog network, which, in case you don't know, is his streaming service. So I don't really know why he needs Oaxis. Now, as of the time I'm recording this, he has made a video answering all the questions people have about Oaxis. But the problem is he didn't really answer any of the questions. He just kind of came up with a bunch of fake questions that nobody really had and made answers to them, cuz I mean, I don't know. Because the thing is that he's all about positivity and being, and no negativity allowed, and that's completely fine. It's just the thing is that he is that sometimes negativity is the truth, and the other thing is, because of his anti-negativity thought process, he refuses to accept or listen to criticism, and because of that, when he has to address criticism, he has to do stuff like this and come up with questions.
Hey guys, Butch Hartman here, and I'm here to answer your top 3 Oaxis questions.
This video.
What is Kickstarter money going to be used for? Great question. Listen, I know that the Kickstarter money is not nearly enough of what is needed to build an entertainment platform. I mean, to build a streaming platform takes millions of...
Okay, well, why? If so, then why didn't you ask for more money? Well, okay, never mind. But if so, then why are you just trying to do this through Kickstarter?
Millions of dollars. There's designers involved. There's tons of experimenting that goes on with coding.
Whatever.
So we can begin hiring people to build this platform. And we wanted to step outside the norms of regular networks and huge corporations and let you guys... Are there going to be other people involved besides me?
I mean, yeah, that technically a question people had, because it's just he has nobody else attached to this. But the thing is, unless this is a complete scam, of course you're going to have to get other people. I don't think you can run a streaming service with just one person. I mean, if you count Homestar Runner as a streaming service, but that's more of just a web series website. Well, other than that, you cannot run a whole streaming service with just one person. So I don't think that's really a question people had. I just think that's obvious.
Number 3, define family focused. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Family focused means family boring, super safe, Yawnsville. Not at all. Family focused.
I mean, yeah, he said, like, he wants to see science fiction and fantasy and stuff, but that still doesn't really define your definition of family friendly. You just said what you want to see in family friendly content, but that still doesn't define your definition of family friendly.
I want to put stuff on Oaxis that's going to make you want to binge watch it over and stuff that makes me think. I want to put stuff on Oaxis that's going to make you want to binge watch it over and over again. And I promise you, we are working very hard to provide that content for you. This is going to be content that applies to everybody. Kids, adults, elderly people, middle-aged, millennials, all walks of life will love the content on Oaxis. I promise. Okay, guys, thank you so much for asking all of those cool questions. I'll be happy to answer any more that you have. This is a big thing we're doing. It requires a lot of big answers.
Yeah, he still did not define family friendly. And the thing is, I know why he's doing this. He knows that he's not actually answering any questions. And the reason he's doing this is because he doesn't want to take criticism. Because the thing is, around the same time that he announced this Kickstarter, Mr. Enter, a cartoon reviewer, announced his fundraising his crowdfunding. There we go. Crowdfunding campaign for his web series Growing Around. And the thing is, I mean, from what I've seen, the reception on it has been mostly positive, but even then there were still some criticisms, some skepticisms about it, and he made a video answering all the questions, and it's great because he actually answers the questions people has instead of coming up with fake questions people don't have about it and just answering those to avoid any actual criticism.
So I posted my Going Around Indiegogo trailer the other day, and while most people seem to be at least supportive of it, there was understandably questions and skepticism. And so I decided to make this update video because I want to be as transparent as possible. Many of these questions I answered on a live stream last night, but understandably not everybody has time to watch through something that long and disorganized. So I'm going to answer the most pressing questions as quickly as I can get. And let's start with the most common question: how did you arrive at that number, 350K? More specifically, the 250K animation budget. I arrived at the number because the job of the animator is one of the most tedious
Anyway, I'm not going to talk about it here because it's completely unrelated to what I'm talking about. But he actually does answer the questions people have about it instead of just coming up with, coming up with non-existent questions that nobody had about it just to avoid criticism. And that's what he's trying to do because of his anti-negativity lifestyle, and that's okay, but this may sound horrible, but people do need negativity as well. I know that sounded terrible to say, but like with this, people kind of do need to speak negatively about it because it does not look like it's going to go well. Anyway, I just decided to make this video on spur of a moment. I don't hate Butch. I kind of like him. Created Fairly Odd Parents, and I really enjoy that show. And he has a pretty good YouTube channel. I mean, I will say that there's rely on a lot of clickbait, and sometimes he tries way too hard to be cool and be trendy, but that's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother video entirely. Anyway, But yeah, that's all I have to say on Oaxis Entertainment. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.